So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IAS. In this live session we will be talking about the Indian Express newspaper. Films is around the corner and newspaper is important. When we are talking about the current affairs, they will be asking you just 1 month before also. Okay, so it's not like that you can just stop reading the newspaper now. That is something which you have to do. Other than that, you have to prepare for your revisions etc. because now you can say that nearly 105 days are left, so you have to start working accordingly. So now let's start our discussion today. We'll be talking about some of the important articles here. We will be talking about the PYQ of the day, okay, and then we'll be moving to the next one, that is geography through maps. That is the area where we discuss the static portion. Okay, generally when we talk about the prelims preparation, they will be asking you about certain things from the static part and other things which will also be there with respect to the current affairs etc. Now static questions are the one which you cannot miss because everyone will be doing that. Okay, so we'll be starting with the PYQ and then we'll be moving with the geography through map. Over here we will be talking about the Mediterranean Sea. We have talked about different mountain ranges. Now we will be talking about some of the water bodies which are actually been asked again and again. When we talk about the Mediterranean Sea, you will be seeing that there are bordering countries which has been asked various times, so we will see that. Okay, now next we will be having some important article, what is knowledge economy, and then we'll be moving to the MSP like pricing for the paddy residue and earth's inner core is changing shape. Now when we talk about knowledge economy, why it has been in news? When we talk about the growth, there is one term, that is growth, then second term is development. Okay, growth we measure in the terms of the GDP generally. Okay, now when we talk about GDP, we generally go for the economic activity or the production related activities. Okay, so now there is one concept which has been given, that we will be going for GDKP. Okay, so here we will also be assessing the knowledge. When we talk about knowledge, in general we are saying that what kind of intellectual property we are creating. Okay, so that is what has been discussed in this article. We will be seeing that what they are talking about. Then coming to the next one, that is your MSP like pricing for paddy residue. When we talk about the areas like Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, you must have seen that there is this issue of pollution, because generally it is accused that the farmers in the Punjab and Haryana are basically going for the residue burning, and because of which at a particular time of year you will be seeing a rise in pollution in this particular area of NCR. Okay, now considering that, government is trying to make sure that this paddy residue is being used otherwise. Okay, or you can say it is being sold in the market for some other purposes. So for that they are saying that there will be a MSP like pricing. For that they will be considering a panel. They will be constituting a panel which will be talking about the possibility of MSP like pricing. So we'll be talking about that. Then coming to the next one, Earth's inner core changing its shape. Now this is a shocking thing to hear, but the thing is there is a study which is talking about it. Now they will not ask you whether inner core is changing shape or not, but they can ask you certain things, that whether it is rotating at a particular speed or not. Okay, what is the direction, all these things that can be asked in the examination. So we'll be talking about that. Okay, for your own read there will be one article. And when we talk about the practice question, we have given you a question for your practice in the last episode, so we'll be discussing that, and then there will be one more for the next one. Okay, so let's start our discussion over here. First is the PYQ of the day. Consider the following information. One side there are archaeological sites which are given, second is the state, and description is given that why these archaeological site has been you can say important. Okay, so let's see. Chandraketugarh, Odisha, trading port town. Okay, now they are saying that all these three should be correctly matched, then only you can say that this particular option is correct. Okay, so here in which of the above row given information is correctly matched. Okay, now that is Chandraketugarh. Then next is Inamgaon, Maharashtra, Chalcolithic site. Then Mangadu, that is there in Kerala, megalithic site, and then Salihundam, Andhra Pradesh, a rock cut shrine. Okay, now starting with the first one here, we do not know much of them because obviously this much information knowing that would be difficult. But you know that when we talk about the Indus Valley civilization, there is one site that is there, that is your Inamgaon, that has been mentioned various times. UPSC has asked that about this particular site in options earlier as well. Okay, so Inamgaon you must know, because that is why I tell you that PYQ is important. Okay, now Inamgaon, that is there in Maharashtra, and that is a Chalcolithic site, because we are saying that it is a Indus Valley civilization related site, that is a Chalcolithic age. Okay, so now this option is correct. Now if you see the options over here, we have to eliminate that which does not have the second one. Okay, so eliminate the third one, eliminate the, you can say, fourth one. Now coming to the 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. You have to check that either one is correct or third one is the correct one. Okay. Now, if you see the first one, that is Chandraketugarh, Odisha trading port town. Now, you don't know about Chandraketugarh, but there is one hint which has been given. That is how elimination techniques work. Okay. So, let's say Chandraketugarh. Now, this Garh word is generally used for, let's say, if there is a fort or if there is a fort on hilltop. Generally, it is used that if there is a fort on the hilltop, or you can say a kind of settlement which is there on the hilltop or the mountainous area. Okay. So, considering that, we can say that it can be somewhere around in the hills. Okay. It is not a port town. They are saying that port town. Port town means that it should be on the shore. Okay. So, considering that, by this particular logic, you can eliminate this one. Okay. Otherwise, if you know what is this, that is well and good. When we talk about Chandraketugarh, so obviously it was a major trade town, okay, but not a port. So that is why we can say that it is first one is wrong. Okay. Now coming to the first one, if it is wrong, then option B would be a right answer. That 2 and 3. We have seen the Inamgaon and then Mangadu. Mangadu is in Kerala. Now you know that in the southern part of India, when we talk about the you can say the burial methods, etc., you know that megalith was quite famous. So there is a high possibility that there is a site in Kerala which can be megalithic site. Okay. So considering that, 2 and 3 is the correct answer over here. Now let's see what is the explanation. See, Chandraketugarh is an archaeological site located in the 24th North Paragana, that is there in West Bengal, and that is not in Odisha. Here they have said that that is in Odisha. Okay. We did not know anything about this particular option. We have just used some kind of logic over here. Okay. Now, when you have this 50-50% option, when you eliminate 2 choices and now you are left with 2, then you have to take the chance, because obviously you have the 50% chance of success over here. Okay. So considering that, you can use any kind of logic which is coming into your mind, but make sure that is a rational logic. Okay. It is not just akkad bakkad bambebo. Okay. So considering that, so coming to the options over here, Chandraketugarh's location is near the riverine route, suggests that it is a significant trade hub connecting the region with the other parts of India, possibly the Southeast Asia. Okay. So that is, they are saying that it is on the riverine route. Our logic might have been wrong over here, but the thing is, answer is correct, because UPSC gives you such things. Okay. It is a riverine and not on the shore. Okay. So that is there, your Chandraketugarh. Now coming to the second one over here, Inamgaon, if we talk about, that is an archaeological site in the Maharashtra, in the Pune district of Maharashtra, and it is one of the most important site for the understanding of Deccan Chalcolithic age, which we have seen. Chalcolithic means copper age. Okay. Coming to the next one, that is Mangadu. Mangadu is in Kerala, newly discovered prehistoric site. So that is why it becomes even more important, because it is a newly discovered site. Okay. So that you can remember, and where megaliths are found in the large number. When we talk about the southern India, you will be finding megaliths. Okay. Coming to the next one over here, the village of the Sailhundam of Srikakulam district in Andhra Pradesh, located on the banks of the Vamsdhara river, shot into fame when archaeological excavation here revealed that ancient Buddhist settlement was there. Okay. So this is famous for the Buddhist settlements. Okay. So in the option, it was, what was given over here, that was given a rock cut shrine. Okay. But it was a Buddhist settlement which is over here. So here it is written that the site is not known for the rock cut shrines. Okay. So that is the discussion over here with respect to the PYQ. Now moving further, coming to the next one, geography through map. Now there is nothing much to discuss over here, because this is something which you have to remember. Okay. What kind of countries are there? But again, they will not ask you about, let's say Slovenia or the Croatia over here. They will be asking you something which is important. They can ask you about Italy, they can ask you about France, they can ask you about Spain, they can ask you about Morocco. But the problem is that if there is something out of which you can say, let's say Slovenia is in news for some reason, then it becomes important that you know about the Slovenia as well. Now let's see the countries over here. Here you can see France is there, Spain is there, Morocco, this strait over here, that is Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, this was in news because of some kind of particular fishes, or you can say here some kind of dolphins, they were actually attacking the yacht. Okay, so that is why this particular area was in news, Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, then Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, and here this whole region is important because that was the part where Israel-Hamas issue comes in. Okay, so this area, other than that, Suez Canal issue was also in news because of the, you can say, when we are talking about this particular region, it is a kind of a trade center over here. this Red Sea, Houthis were quite active over here, and because of which this region was in news. So you know that Suez Canal, this Red Sea area, and here Gulf of Aqaba, which is there. Okay. Coming to the next one here, this is Israel. Israel is having a border with Mediterranean Sea. Then we have Lebanon. Then we have Syria. We have Turkey. Okay. Now, if you come to this particular portion, here we have some of the islands which are quite important. That is Malta Island is also there. Okay. Cyprus is there. That is also important. Sicily is there. Okay. Then coming to this part here, Italy is there. Coming to over here, that is Slovenia. Okay. Croatia is there. Bosnia Herzegovina is there. Montenegro is there, Albania is there, Greece is there, okay, and then Turkey is there. So this is something which you should remember. These countries you should remember. Okay, coming to this particular point, okay, here when we talk about, this is the Mediterranean Sea, and here you will be seeing the Black Sea. Black Sea is the extension of the Mediterranean Sea, okay, and then we have Dardanelles Strait over here. So that you should remember. These are some of the points which I wanted to discuss from Mediterranean Sea's point of view. So please remember that. Here Gulf of Aqaba is important, here Strait of Gibraltar is important, and when we talk about Strait of Gibraltar, it is connecting Atlantic Ocean with the Mediterranean Ocean. Okay, so that is about it. Now let's move further and start with our discussion. Before that, I would like to tell you that Drishti IAS is offering you IAS Foundation course for prelims as well as mains in offline mode. For English medium, batches are starting from the 17th of February. For Hindi medium, it is starting from 21st of February, 11:30 AM. Address is given. You can directly visit the center and get yourself enrolled, or any kind of query is there, you can call on this number, that is 87501 87501. You can save this number for any kind of query. You can call Drishti IAS when you are having any kind of confusion related to the courses or the UPSC related matters. Okay, so now moving further and starting with the first article, GDKP. How a new plan to capture knowledge economy as additional GDP metric could pan out. Now, this is just a plan. Now, Ministry of Statistics and the program implementation will be looking into it. They will be, going further with the process of implementation. They will be seeing that what are the avenues we have over here. So, let's see. Knowledge economy as a metric to supplement the gross domestic product. Till now, we are, using GDP for the growth related indicators over here. Intend to develop a framework to comprehensively capture the impact of knowledge on the economic and the social life in the country. Economic and the social life is getting impacted by the knowledge, and that kind of impact we want to measure, what kind of impact it is having. Okay, the Ministry of Statistics and the program implementation has had a session on the conceptual framework of gross domestic knowledge product measurement. Okay, so here they have had a session, and now they will be looking into the avenues of it. Okay, shifting from economic indicators to knowledge centric measurements approach by noting the refined methodology for the GDKP would better capture the contribution of knowledge driven sectors, innovation and the intellectual assets to the India's economic growth. Okay, so basically they are saying that they are trying to accommodate the ideas, innovations, etc., and how they are impacting the socio-economic life. Okay, so some of the things which we can extract out of this particular article is there. The government is revisiting the idea of capturing the knowledge economy as an additional metric to supplement the GDP. Why it is revisiting the idea? Because that idea was earlier pitched by Niti Aayog. Okay, so that is why we are saying that we are revisiting this particular idea. A framework is being developed to assess the economic and the social impact of the knowledge in India. Now moving further, here you can see Ministry of Statistics and the program implementation held a session on the conceptual framework of gross domestic knowledge product measurement. A technical committee will be formed to evaluate the proposal and provide guidance to measure the knowledge economy over here. Okay, so what is knowledge economy? So basically the contribution of innovation, knowledge or intellectual property, that is basically knowledge economy. The focus is on shifting from traditional economic indicators, generally what we use in the GDP, to knowledge based metrics. Okay, coming to the next one, Niti Aayog's earlier proposal, as I told you that in 2021 Niti Aayog has come up with the proposal, but we could not go ahead with it. The National Statistical Commission has pointed out that a proper methodology was needed to compute the GDKP. A part of GDKP is already included in GDP, and augmenting GDP would require a refined approach. For that, a refined approach is required, and for that there is a technical committee which will be there. Okay, now some other aspects are there. That is satellite account consideration. Okay, currently when we are talking about, so intellectual properties are considered in the gross fixed capital formation. Right now when we talk about the GDP, in that how do we incorporate the intellectual property? So here they have gross fixed capital formation, in that they are using it. Capital formation, or you can say when we are talking about let's say new venture you are starting, then you are going and investing into the machinery, or you can say you are developing some kind of machinery, that is included in the capital formation, okay, fixed capital formation. So here they are including the intellectual property, but now they will be coming with the satellite account consideration. Ministry of Statistics and the Program Implementation Secretary suggested setting up a satellite account to measure India's knowledge base. Now, satellite account means that therein they will be using the indicators. They will be, when we are talking about the various sectors like tourism, culture, ocean, blue economy, etc. So they will be creating account where they can, get an idea that what kind of IP has been created. The ministry is coordinating with other ministry to create satellite accounts in various sectors like tourism, culture, ocean and the blue economy. Challenges in the GDKP implementation. When we talk about that, we have to come up with the knowledge economy. What kind of challenges are there? So here a concrete formulations for measuring the knowledge economy is not yet available. How will you measure that one idea is superior than the other one? Okay, so that is the problem over here. So we do not have the concrete formula for measuring the knowledge economy yet. Okay, so there is always a subjectivity. Same idea can be having different kind of utility for different sectors. Let's say when we talk about let's say blue economy, okay, a person who is in the manufacturing sector might not have much with the blue economy, but when we talk about, or you can say there is this idea that you have to go for the blue beaches. Now blue beaches means that you are going for the cleaner beach. Okay, now if you have this idea of blue beach, okay, now a person is there in the industrial sector, he does not have much to do with this, okay, but same thing can be valuable for a person who is in the tourist economy. Okay, so considering that, there is a subjectivity. Concern includes subjectivity in the parameters, making it difficult to reflect a real status of the outcome. The concept paper suggests GDKP as a supplementary indicator, but its exact role in measuring welfare is not clear as of now. Okay, so that is about the GDKP. Now let's move further to the next one. House panel for MSP like pricing for paddy residue. Okay, so as I told you, issue is there, paddy burning, paddy residue burning, and because of which pollution is there. So what is the you can say solution they are coming with? So they are considering that we can go for the procurement of the paddy residue so that there is no residue to burn. If there is, when we talk about what is the issue right now over here, is that paddy residue is there, but there is no timely procurement. Okay, timely procurement is not there, and even if there is a procurement, prices are so less that they do not even go for the market. Okay, because they think that if the transportation cost will be more than the prices they are getting. Okay, so considering that, they are going for the paddy burning. Okay, so that is the issue. A parliamentary panel has recommended setting up minimum price for paddy residue similar to the minimum support price for various crops which is there. You can tell me in the comment box that for how many crops are there under the MSP regime. Okay. Then coming to the next one, aim is to discourage the stubble burning, a major cause for pollution in the Delhi, NCR, Punjab and Haryana region. Okay. So now here you can see key recommendation if we talk about. So there is a recommendation that MSP like mechanism for paddy residue should be there. Ensure farmers get assured return from selling the stubble. The price should be reflective of farmers' cost of collection, transportation and the other economic factors. Okay, so when we talk about you can say harvesting season, so there is a stubble which will be there in the field, so they will be going for the cost of collection of that particular residue. Second, transportation of the residue or any kind of other economic cost has incurred over here, that should be considered for the MSP over here. Okay, market based pricing model. Current market rate for paddy residue is fluctuative because obviously it is market based, so it will be fluctuating, causing financial uncertainty for the farmers, because when we know the market is there, there are various cartels which are there which know that farmer has to sell the paddy, so they are giving the less prices. Okay, so that is there. A structured pricing mechanism will help them make better decisions. Alternative uses, why is that farmer is going for selling the paddy, what kind of use is there? So when we talk about the government support over here for using the residue in the biofuel, biogas and the power generation, these are some of the area where paddy residue can be used. Promoting short duration paddy varieties to reduce stubble burning. Okay, so that is also one of the you can say alternative which has been given over here. Air quality and the policy integration, so they are saying that the Commission for Air Quality Management should work with the stakeholders to determine the fixed price. That is one thing. Second is integrating crop crop diversification strategies to reduce the stubble generation. If they are going for the crop diversification in this area, anyway when we talk about the Punjab and Haryana region, there is already issue of the water is there, groundwater table is declining over here, and rice or the paddy is one of the crop which require a lot of water. Okay, so we can go for the crop diversification also. Coming to the next one, long-term agriculture solution, if we talk about, integrate the residue into the national agricultural policies. Now, when we talk about the agricultural policy in the nation, so we include various crops. We include the credit which is required for the agriculture. We include fertilizer. So similarly, they are saying that the crop residue should also be included in that. Okay, encourage investments in the biomass based industries and supply chain improvement that is there, and promote financial support and the alternative livelihood programs for the farmers so that they can generate income. So this is about the paddy related discussion, and they are thinking about having a MSP like mechanism for paddy residue. Okay. Now let's move further to the next one. January 2025 was the warmest ever, while La Nina did not bring down the temperature. Okay. Now the thing is, when we talk about the La Nina has different intensities. One time it will have you can say strong La Nina, it can have weak La Nina. All these things are there. Ultimately, which is kind of making sure that what kind of winters the world will be facing. Now this year it was seen that the winters are not like it was expected. We expected a good amount of you can say chills, but that was not there, and considering that January 2025 was the warmest ever. Okay, so that was one of the things. Now you don't have to go much into details of how much warm it was, or all these things are not needed. Now the thing is why it was like that. Okay, first thing is that what is La Nina. Okay, so we will be seeing that when we talk about oceanic circulations, there is one important term which is there, ENSO. So ENSO is known as, it is basically El Nino Southern oscillations. Okay, so they are basically talking about the kind of you can say a phenomena which is being seen in the oceans. Okay, so that is there. If you look at this particular map, you will be seeing that this is your you can say South America, this is Australia part, and here there is some kind of oscillation is there. Okay, that is called as the ENSO. Now in the ENSO there are three terms which is generally followed. One is your El Nino, one is your normal year. Okay, normal conditions will be there, normal year, then El Nino year, and then there is a La Nina year. Okay, so that is there. When we talk about the normal year, everything will be normal. Obviously, normal means that that does not mean that there will be no summers or the winters. The point is that in El Nino we have excess summer or excess heat will be there. El Nino have a heating effect. Okay. Now, when we talk about La Nina will be having excess winters. Okay, if La Nina is strong, then it will have winters. Now, considering that the normal year is where we do not face any excess heat or the excess winter. Okay, so that is there. Okay, so generally these three terms are there which are associated with the ENSO. Okay, so now let's talk about what is ENSO over here. So La Nina is one of the three phases. What is known as the ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation, a climatic phenomena characterized by the change in the sea temperature along the central and the eastern tropical Pacific Ocean. Here, central and the eastern Pacific Ocean, that is, this is the area. When we know about, when we see this particular region, you will be knowing that this is your eastern, this is your Pacific Ocean. Okay. So here they are talking about this particular region of Australia, and this is the region of your Peru and Chile. Okay, so that is there. Now we will be talking about that. Coming to the next one. Here, ENSO influences and alters the interference with the global atmospheric circulations, on which in turn influences the weather worldwide. So basically, it has the potential to influence the weather. Okay. Now here you can say there is a warm phase, that is your El Nino, there is a cool phase, that is La Nina, and there is the neutral phase, that is your normal year. Okay, so that is there, and there is an irregular cycle. It is not a fixed cycle, but generally you will be saying that it can be there 7 to 8 years, it can also be there, but the thing is it has an irregular cycle. There is no fixed time for which that can be there. Okay. Now in the neutral phase, the eastern side of the Pacific Ocean, that is near the northwestern coast of the South America, is cooler. When we talk about this normal phase, you will be seeing that this particular region, that would be cooler. Okay, that would be cool, and this particular region will be warmer. Okay, so that is there. That is the normal situation. When we talk about the El Nino year, what will happen is that since this was normally it was cool, but in El Nino this will start to become warm. Okay, and if there is La Nina, this same place will be having a cooling effect. Okay, so here you will be seeing that this will be having cooling effect. Okay, in the neutral year, this particular region would be warm, but in El Nino you will be seeing that this would be less, you can say, warmer. Okay, so that is there. And when we talk about the La Nina phase, this will be very warm. Okay, so that is also something which is there. Okay, now coming back to the discussion over here. So neutral phase, the eastern side of the Pacific Ocean, that is the, you can say, coast of Southern America, is cool than the western side, that is near Philippines and the Indonesia, that is the Australia part. Okay, and is due to the prevailing wind system that moves from east to west. Generally the winds are there. When in this particular region, you will be seeing that the winds are easterlies. Okay, easterlies, that means that from east to west they are moving. Okay, now they are moving from east to west, sweeping the warmer surface waters towards the Indonesian coast. Okay, so that is there. Coming to the next one over here, El Nino phase, if you talk about, so wind systems is weakened over here, less displacement of the warmer waters of the South American coast. Okay, so earlier in the easterlies, so that was the normal course of action, and now here what will happen is that because the wind system has been weakened over here, the lesser displacement of the warmer water will be there towards the South American coast. Okay, so that is there. The Eastern Pacific becomes warmer than usual. Now all these things which is important over here, that in the neutral phase you will be seeing that the eastern side of the Pacific Ocean is cooler. Here, eastern side of the Pacific Ocean, this is your Pacific Ocean, this is the eastern side, this is the western side. So this will be cooler over here. Consider this particular diagram over here so that it will be easy. This is cooler right now. Okay, and we have seen that the easterlies are there. So the here that would be like that, from east to west we will be having the wind directions. Okay, now what is happening in the general course of action is that there is this when we talk about the easterly winds over here, we can read that over here from there. Here you can see the prevailing wind system that moves from the east to west, which we have just seen, sweeping the warmer surface waters towards the Indonesian coast. Okay, so here this is the cool portion. So warmer portion will be over here, which we have already seen. Then, sorry, coming to the next part, El Nino phase, the wind systems are weakened, and because of which that particular portion will be, this particular portion will be, which is right now cooler, that will start to become warm. Okay. Earlier what was happening is that whatever warm water was there, which was being taken towards this particular region. Earlier whatever warm water was there, that has been taken to this particular region. So here the temperature was high and this particular area was warm. But since this circulation has been weakened, so the warm water here is accumulating over here, and that is not moving particularly towards this particular side of Indonesia, and that is why in the El Nino year you will be seeing that this particular region will be warm. Okay, so that is why you will be seeing that the El Nino is having the warmer impact on this particular part of the world. Okay, coming to the next one over here, the La Nina phase, the trade winds become stronger, push larger quantities of the water towards the Western Pacific. Now La Nina phase, earlier what was happening is that in the normal course of action, the this particular warm water was pushed towards this particular region, and now since it is a La Nina region, so the large amount of water is being pushed towards this. Okay, and this particular region is being extremely cooler. Okay, so that is your La Nina time. Now question is that why did La Nina not cool temperature in January? So since La Nina was not that strong this time, and that is why that could not happen. Each El Nino and La Nina phase is unique, and intensity, duration and the specific reason will differ actually. Development of the these phases do not necessarily increase or decrease the global temperature with the same intensity every time. Okay, this time it was weaker, and that is why we have seen that there is a delayed emergence first. Second thing was that it was not very of the very strong intensity, and that is why we did not see very strong or the cold winters this time. Okay, so that is there. And why this is significant? Because this has potential to impact the, you can say, the weather patterns over here, and that is why this is important. So that is about El Nino and La Nina. Simple words you can understand over here, that in the normal course of action this particular region is cold, this particular region is cool, this particular region will be warm, because we have seen that the winds are moving like this, east to west. Okay, so here whatever warm water is coming over here on the surface, that is being taken to this particular region because of these winds, and this area is seeing upwelling. Okay, cooler water from the below of the sea, that will be coming on the surface, and ultimately this particular region will be cool. Okay, coming to the next part, that is your La Nina part. In that particular region, this wind circulation which is there from east to west, that is weak. Okay, when this particular wind circulation is weak, that means that the warmer water is not being taken to this particular region. Okay, since it is not being taken to this particular region, this area will start to accumulate the warmer waters, and because of which it will be warmer. Okay, warmer than normal. That is why it is called as El Nino. Now what if this particular circulation which is already there, that is east to west, that becomes strong? If it is stronger than normal, in that case what will happen is that it will take the warmer water towards the Indonesian side, in a large quantity, and since it is taking large quantity of water over here, large quantity of you can say upwelling is over here, and the cool water is coming on the surface, because of which you will be facing extreme coldness or the cool winters. Okay, so that is about La Nina. Now let's move further to the next one, that is Earth's inner core may have changed shape, what the study says. Now here few things are there which you can remember. Let's see. A new study published in the Natural Geoscience suggests that the Earth's inner core may have changed shape due to the variation in the rotation rate and the boundary movement. Now one thing which is clear, that whatever inner core is seeing, that is in the inner core, that is your Earth. Then we have Sial, Sima, we have crust, then we have mantle, and then we have inner core, outer core, and then we have inner core. Okay, so let's just go to the inner core. Now inner core is rotating. Okay, and because of which what is happening is that particular shape, etc., or the magnetism is being controlled by this particular thing. Okay, now here you can say due to the variation in the rotation, that means that is not spinning at the constant rate. So that is there which you should remember, that inner core is rotating at a different rate. So here you can say it has changed shape due to the variation in its rotation rate and the boundary movements which is there. The research sorry. The research analyzed the seismic data from 1991 to 2004 using the arrays of the seismometers which are located in the Fairbanks in Alaska and the Yellowstone in Canada. So with the use of the seismographs, they are using you can say coming to a conclusion, what is the variability in the inner core of the Earth, okay, or its rotation. So inner core does not spin at the same speed. So this is one fact which you should remember, that can be asked in the UPSC, simple statement that can be asked. Coming to the next one. Past studies indicates that the inner core was spinning faster than the outer layers. Okay, it is spinning at the faster than the outer layers. Now this you don't have to remember, just know that there can be different speed, it is not at a constant speed. Okay, now new findings suggest that this pattern might have changed recently. The study examined the earthquake wave that should have produced initial or the identical seismic readings at the Fairbanks and the Yellowstone. They are not producing identical readings. Okay, now you don't have to go into this and this. The thing is that they have installed seismographs and there was some kind of expected results. They were expecting that similar results will be there on these two areas. Okay, but they have seen there was some kind of variations, and since there is a variation, we have come to a conclusion that this particular inner core is rotating at a different rate. Okay, so that is why they have come to the possible, they are talking about the possible causes as well. So difference in the signal suggests a change in the inner core's outer boundary. Okay, now coming to the next one. How do you know about all these things which are going at the inner core level? That is just one thing, whatever volcanoes or the you can say data from the earthquake we can see, on the basis of that only we can actually come with these assumptions on the conclusions. Okay, now what is the possible cause? Turbulent movement in the iron and the nickel within the core. Okay, you know that the core is made of NiFe, N-I-F-A, nickel and ferrum, that is your iron and nickel within the core, and because of the turbulent movement of that, the speed is being changing. The interaction between the magnetic field and the Earth's inner layers, as I told you, for the magnetic field also, that is responsible, the core is responsible for the magnetic field. Then seismic waves traveling differently due to the structural shift in the core. Now we are saying that the seismic waves are basically traveling at a different pace, or you can say there is a variation in the you can say traveling of the seismic waves, which we have seen at the Fairbanks and the Yellowstone seismographs over there. And considering that they have come to a conclusion that there is a shift in the core, structural shifts are there in the core. Now coming to the next article, that is talking about article 200. Again, because of the Tamil Nadu issue, when the governor was sitting on some of the bills and that has come to the Supreme Court, Supreme Court has made another observation over here. So what that a particular observation is that whenever you are withholding the consent, you have to give a reason. Okay, so here the Supreme Court on Monday said that article 200 of the Constitution dealing with the governor's power to withhold or give assent to the bill passed by the state legislature expects the governor to communicate the state the reason for withholding the assent. So here they are saying that if you are withholding the bill, then you have to give the assent. Okay. On the contrary, the proviso expects the governor to make himself very clear before the house that look, this was the reason and that is why they have done that. Okay, so that is basically court has said. The bench, however, wondered how the state would know what objections need to be looked into if the reasons for the withholding assents are not been communicated to. Okay, so that is basically they are saying that if a governor is sitting on the bill or withholding the assent, then they have to tell the reasons. Okay. Now article 200 is important for you. Article 200 and 201 is important because there are various controversies which are revolving around them, and that is why let's see over here article 200 and 201. Article 200 of the Indian Constitution outlines the process of a bill passed by the Legislative Assembly of a state to be presented to the governor for the assent. That they are saying that if there is a bill which has been passed by the legislature over here in the state, they have to present it to the governor, who may either assent is given to the bill, or withhold the assent, or reserve the bill for the consideration by the president. So these are the three options which he has. Okay. Coming to the next one, governor may also return the bill with a message requesting consideration by the house. Now they can return the bill, governor can return the bill saying that these are the issues, and then they can actually look into it, and now it is with the legislature that they want to amend it or not. They can send it back to the governor with or without amendment. Now in that particular position, he does not have any other option, he has to give the assent. Okay. Now here you can say article 201, it states that when a bill is reserved for the consideration of the president, president may assent or withhold the assent from the bill. So here president can also give the assent or withhold the assent. Okay. Other than that, president might redirect it to the governor, and said that you have to send it for the reconsideration. Okay. Now it will be sent to the reconsideration to the house, and then again when the amendment is done or not, it will be sent back to the president, and president can give the assent or withhold the assent. In that case, president does not president is not bound by the legislature over here. Okay. So that is the article 201. Here one difference is there. When there is a reconsidered bill which has been sent back to the governor, governor has to give the assent. But if he is reserving the bill for the president, and president has sent it back for the reconsideration via governor, and then that has been sent back to the president with or without amendment, in that case president is not bound to give the assent over here, that he can withhold the assent as well. Okay. Now what is the earlier Supreme Court ruling over here? If a governor refused to approve a bill, then they have to follow article 200. Okay. Article 200, which is providing the process. The Supreme Court has held if a governor decides to withhold the assent to a bill, then he has to return the bill to the legislature for the reconsideration. Now if you are giving assent, then well and good. If you are withholding it, in that case what you have to do is you have to send it back to the you can say legislature. Okay. You cannot just sit on it, you withhold it, you can send it back for the reconsideration. Okay. Governor's withholding of assent without necessary step of communicating the need for the legislature to reassess the bill violates the constitutional provisions. So here the Supreme Court has again said that if you are withholding the assent, you have to give the reasons and send it back to the you can say legislature over here. So that is the reason and the issue with respect to the article 200 which we have discussed. Now passing references, if we talk about, now there is this article, a new nation when abolition of the Jamindari system was challenged in the Supreme Court. Now this is a matter of your modern India, so you can go through this particular article. Now this is how this is connected with modern India and the polity, because in the 1951 we had the Sankri Prasad Singh Dev versus Union of India case. Okay. So now that is important case, you can go through this particular article or this case if you are interested. Otherwise that has been covered in the static when we talk about the Sankri Prasad case. Okay. And that particular part, right to property. Then coming to the next one, India to host next AI summit later this year, and right now we had the summit in France. PM Modi has visited over here. In this particular thing or the highlights of this summit will be covered in the in news program. Okay. So you can keep a tab on that. Now coming to the next one, for your the free all the hostages by the midday Saturday, or all hell will break out. That has been said by Trump to Hamas. There was this issue that Hamas are saying that the Israel has not been on the ceasefire, or they have broken the terms of the ceasefire. And considering that this particular statement has been released over here, you don't have to worry much about it, because this is something which is daily developments which are there. So that is, we will be seeing that what happens to it. Coming to the next one, for your own read, there is this article, President's Rule Among the Options for the Manipur, the Provisions and the History. When we talk about Manipur, you know that the Chief Minister over here has given the, you can say, resignation, and now there are options that President Rule might be applied to the Manipur. Okay, so that is one thing. That is also a static part, you have to know about it. Second, we have covered it in news day before yesterday, so you can go through that as well. Okay. Now let's move to the last part, that is your practice question. What is the principle of eminent domain? Okay, so here, the state's power to tax private property, no. The right of individual to claim government land, no. The government's authority to acquire private property for public use with compensation, yes. This is the doctrine of eminent domain. Okay, so that is there. Coming to the next one, for your practice today, this is the question: which ministry is responsible for the evaluating the proposal for GDKP? Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Statistics and the Program Implementation, and Ministry of Science and Technology. So you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next episode. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you, and please subscribe to the channel.